a tough one, just because it's so expansive. So first, let's touch on like some ways that the kiddos that I observed our 6 sessions were socially impacted, right? So Trace is diagnosed as on the autism spectrum. That didn't affect him hugely. It affects him hugely in public school. He struggles at home. I think partially because we saw him for a limited time, it wasn't huge. But, I mean, having a disability can, particularly when it comes to autism, right? It looks different for every child with autism. So it could impact them in a million different ways. Like some ways that we've seen, I've seen a lot of more positive effects, especially for kids on the spectrum. For kids that have sensory needs, it tends to fulfill those needs in a very different way. And then when it comes to Ryder, I wouldn't be surprised if Ryder eventually got like an ADHD diagnosis. I do see a lot of links between his behavior and other children that I've witnessed with ADHD. But for children particularly that struggle with ADHD, I actually think forest school opens up a lot more possibility for them, being able to move their bodies in a way that they want to move their bodies, being able to move their bodies on such a level, like so much for however long they need to, can be it can actually make it easier for them to then enter those social situations in a very different mind space than, say, if they're coming across those social situations in a classroom where they have had to sit in one place all day long and that energy has just built up in them. So in a lot of ways I see forest school as being hugely beneficial for kids with disabilities. We have had kids come to us unsure of the weather, particularly being fearful of thunder. Actually, that was Trace. When he started coming to WorldMind a long time ago, he was very scared of thunder, and his mom said that he would get very worked up about it. Even that wasn't much of a struggle. Just knowing that helped us prepare him. When we first heard thunder, we were like, this is our plan, this is what we're going to do, this is why we don't need to worry right now. It seemed as though being armed with knowledge helped him immensely overcome that fear. And I think that when it comes to environmental fears, that oftentimes educating kids is the best way to help overcome them. A lot of these things are the same for forest school as they're going to be in a public school, right? If a kid's hungry, it's going to affect their behavior. I even see this in myself. Like, if I'm super hungry, my brain literally stops functioning. I have a hard time talking. And so knowing that in myself, it's so easy to see in kids. Kids will sometimes melt down if they're hungry, or they'll get tired, or they'll get defiant. Making sure that they are fed is hugely important. Which is why we asked, even just during a 2-hour class, kids to bring a snack. And it was an awesome idea, because kids needed it. They got hungry even in that short 2-hour span. Something else that I noticed, behavior can oftentimes be affected by things that have nothing to do with forest school, things that have happened at home, things that the kids, have been dealing with, if they have recently had any family shifts, if they've experienced death in their family. On the last session, one of our students, who's usually so excited and just a leader, she was really just wanting to hang out in the tree all classes, all she wanted to do. And it took a while, but after talking to her about it, and I could sense that she was upset. She hadn't told me, but she just looked sad. And after talking to her for a while, she told me that she had tried to put on a rock show at her house, and no one in her family could come. Like, her mom was busy, her dad was busy, her brother was doing something, and so she was just feeling really sad about it. Like, it was a big deal to her that her family watched her perform this show that she created. And so she brought that into class, right? It very much affected her behavior. She did not behave like she usually came to class. So lots of times they're coming with all kinds of baggage. And that's something that's really important to keep in mind. Yeah, I feel like this question's a little unfair because it's just, what can't affect behavior at forced school? Any and everything can affect their behavior. And so I think that, once again, the most important thing we can do is just learn our kids, develop a relationship with them, start to understand them, know what motivates them, know what they're struggling with at home. All of those things are going to help us when it comes to helping them learn in this environment.